My wife had me kidnapped and castrated so I couldn't be with the woman I loved. Then she married me out of pity while sleeping with other men. Chapter 1. It was the anniversary of Mom and Dad's death and some psycho kidnapped me. The dude broke my junk with a Betsack baseball bat, blood everywhere. When they found me, I was dumped in a pig pen, barely breathing. It was Mom's best friend Shauna, who rushed to me, tears streaming down her face. Just like when I was a kid, she got me to the emergency room, then flew
his eyes red
specialists from all over the world for surgery. Outside the operating room, she squeezed my hand tight and finally said she'd marry me. 5 years of wedded bliss, or so I thought. Then I went to the hospital for a checkup and I overheard Shauna talking to her secretary. Shauna, Chris can't even function as a man anymore. I get why you had Mark kidnap him for Finn's sake back then, but why remove one of his testicles? The doctor said they could have saved it. Shauna's voice was ice cold. It's better if he can't be a man. My marrying Chris was always going to raise eyebrows. This makes me feel more secure. And Ashley will finally move on and be with Ian. I closed my eyes, my heart ripped apart. The dream I thought was untouchable wasn't just forbidden. Everything I had was a prison Shauna built for me. If that's how it is, I am at here. The never-ending rain was making my old injury flare up. The sharp pain in my groin was excruciating, even curled up in a ball in the hospital hallway. 5 years married and I still couldn't give Shauna a kid no matter what we tried. Staring at the medical report confirming I was impotent, I couldn't hold it in anymore. I was crying so hard I could barely breathe. Coming to, I walked past the physical therapy room in a daze and I couldn't help but overhear Shauna talking to her assistant. He's completely impotent now, can't even function like a man anymore. The means you took to help him were too cruel. The doctor said there was a chance to save it, but you had them cut it off. This is your best friend's only son. You have cut off their lineage. Shauna's voice was like ice. It's better if he can't be a man. My marriage with Chris was always a controversial topic. This makes me feel more secure, and Ashley will finally stop thinking about Chris and decide to be with him. The assistant's voice was full of worry. You raised him, all he knows is to trust you. What happens when he finds out Shauna was unwavering? He won't. I'm the only one who won't look at him with disgust, and he doesn't have a choice. And being married to me is what he's wanted since he was 10. I gave Chris everything he wanted. It hit me like a ton of bricks. My eyes burned and I felt like I was suffocating. All the pain I'd been through came from the one person I thought had saved me. The love I thought was so sweet was just a sugar-coated poison pill. Fighting the pain, I ran to the smoking area, lit a cigarette with shaky hands and took a long drag to stop myself from falling apart right there. Images of Shauna and me together flashed through my head. They were like knives carving my heart out piece by piece. Chris, you were grown now. Think you were too good. Who said you could smoke? Shauna ran to me and stumped out the cigarette. She was just about to blow up at me but saw the medical report in my hand and my tear-streaked face. She froze, holding her words in her throat before softening her tone. Chris, I know about everything. She walked over and pulled me into a hug. It's okay. I won't break my promise. Whether you can have kids or not, I'll be here for you. Such gentle and kind consolation. It was just like the year I was attacked and she fearlessly became my savior, but it was all lies. I cried and laughed and quietly spoke into her ear. But I'm not even a man anymore. Are you really going to be with me forever? Shauna stroked my hair and responded with a gentle voice. I will be here for you forever. I tightly hugged Shauna, who I had loved for over a decade since I was a teenager, but in the hidden corners of my heart she couldn't hear me as I said, but Shauna, I won't be here for you. On the car ride back, Shauna was driving and gently trying to console me. When the car went over the speed bump, the car jerked and I accidentally kicked over the floor mat, bending down to fix it. I felt something slippery. My heart sank and without expression I looked down. It was a used condom. I thought back to how Shauna's clothing smelled weird the other day.